Contrast in art, what it is and how to use it. Contrast is everything in art. Without it, you may as well leave the canvas blank. It is one of the principles of art which refers to the striking difference between two elements. For example, there is a strong contrast when you place a vivid red next to a dull green, or a rough texture next to a smooth texture, or a hard edge next to a soft edge, and so on. With clever use of contrast, you can focus attention on your key features in a painting. Knowing when to create a stunning contrast and when to leave an area slightly uninviting is a powerful skill which separates good artists from great artists. In this video I dive a bit deeper into the different ways to create contrast and how to use it to improve your paintings rather than detract from them. Color contrast. When most people think of color contrast, they think of a clash of red against green, or purple against yellow. This is what you would call hue contrast. But you can also break color contrast into value contrast and saturation contrast. Value contrast refers to the contrast between light and dark colors. Every color has an underlying level of lightness. A saturated yellow is lighter than a saturated blue. So when you place a yellow next to blue, there is a contrast in hue and value. Our eyes are very responsive to value contrast, much more so than hue or saturation contrast. That is why value is widely considered by artists to be the most important aspect of color. I am fascinated by paintings which have a sharp contrast between light and dark. Below is one of my recent studies which has a dark foreground framing the high-key background. Hue contrast. Hue contrast refers to the contrast between different colors on the color wheel. It is independent of value and saturation, though they often play a part. Colors which are on opposing sides of the color wheel have a strong contrast. These are referred to as complementary colors. Saturation contrast refers to a contrast between saturated and dull colors. For example, a saturated yellow against a dull yellow. Many people overlook this kind of contrast, but it can add a very powerful element to your painting. Many artists do not think about color contrast in terms of value, hue and saturation. Most of the time they take a very general approach to color. When you think of color contrast in terms of the three individual elements, you start to see so many more opportunities in painting. Instead of just contrasting a red color against a green color, hue contrast, you could bring value and saturation into the mix by contrasting a dull and dark red against a saturated and light green. Or you could create a very subtle contrast between different greens in your painting by keeping the hue the same and just altering the saturation. Tip: when you change one aspect of a color, the value, hue or saturation, there are usually implications on the other aspects. For example, if you make a color lighter with white, you also reduce the saturation but the hue will stay roughly the same. When you make a color lighter with yellow, the saturation will not change as much but the hue will change. I like to think about color like a triangle of influence. When you change one side, always consider the implications it has on the other two sides of the triangle. Thank you for feeling our sharing. You can make a picture for yourself as a souvenir, for your friends, relatives. Or now, if you want to make a surprise gift for your dearest ones. You can give this great job to us. Please send us your most favorite photo and we will choose the best artists to convert into a work of art by hand painting. Your loved one will certainly be very happy to have this meaningful gift. Right now click on the link below the description. And enjoy! If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe for more or share to help more people. Thank you so much. I attached link below description. Access now and follow it. Thank you.